It's such an important skill set in this sport, and that's overstating the obvious for those volleyball fans out there. We had a stretch where we weren't very good at it. It's not that these kids don't know how to execute the serve and perform the skill. I just think mentally there were some issues and some things with our lineup as well, which we've also addressed and corrected. Tonight they looked great. That skill set with this weekend, I thought we were ultra aggressive and had a lot of success. We're 3-1 at that tournament this past weekend, and it wasn't one of those stats that stood out as a sore spot or a source of frustration for our staff. They really bared down. They look good.
I know another time previously that we talked, you said you wanted to find your lineup, your set rotation, if you will, during that long road trip, 6 matches away from home. Have you found that? I mean, when I talked to Hannah, she said maybe it's not quite complete in terms of having that rotation. Is that accurate?
Good for her. I'll go. Yeah, we're very close. We're very deep in each of our positions, and there's such a fine line separating playing time for each of these kids. And we talked to them about it, as much and as early and as often as we can. It's stats. Statistically, they're separating from playing time and who's going to get the court time and who's not, regardless of the night, regardless of the opponent. We're rewarding kids for putting numbers up, and this is a number-based game and a numbers-based sport. The kids that we had on the court this past weekend are the ones that are excelling in the statistical categories.
This matchup against DePage went quite similar to the first time around.
Yeah.
It seemed like they started really slow. You guys went out there and won, I think, the first set 25-4,
yes.
And then they actually gave you a little bit of a run the next 2 sets. Talk about, is it hard in your mind? I talked a little bit with Hannah about it. Is it hard when you start that strong to keep up that pace of play or that rate?
Sometimes, and I put that on the mental toughness of our side of the net. And we talk about this too much. And again, opponent is irrelevant. Our system is our system. We play in it or we play out of it. When we're in it, we're very good. When we're out of it, I think as of late, we've been pretty consistent too. So there's not too much focus. Our entire roster is here to play. When they're on the floor, it's time to contribute. It shouldn't matter who and when and what day it is. It's just they all know that by now too. And that's that fine line reference one more time. But no, I think this is a good test tonight, and I thought we did well.
Talk about what you've seen from Hannah since she's kind of joined the team, so to speak, and gotten into some of these matches. What have you seen from her? What impresses you about her?
Hannah's she's a long setter. 5'10", pushing 5'11", and is one of those setters that back in high school she had a Division I teammate from Madison La Follette, and Crystal went over to Wisconsin and is doing big things with the Badgers. But she went with her team to the state tournament as a senior. She had a big Division I attacker in her high school program. So her transition from there to here, without question, has been seamless. She came in a little rusty. She had a year off, but we as a staff a couple weeks ago kind of looked at each other and giggled and said she's not rusty anymore. She looks great.
Talk about I guess, as you get closer here now with each passing match to postseason play, this back end of the schedule, and what you kind of hope to gain from, still some tough opponents coming up in Clark and Whitewater prior to, the real deal in the postseason.
Well, our schedule, we're fortunate enough that, at least I'm fortunate enough to put it together. I have the opportunity to reach out to some of our non-conference opponents and coaches, and strength of schedule, and the last third of it is intentional. We'll be tested, we'll be challenged, we'll be on the road for some of those as well, and not disrespecting our conference schedule in any way, shape, or form. We've got some big ones coming up down the road there too that'll help us prepare, and we're just going to go one game at a time. It's a cliche, but they're focused on that stuff too. That's another thing we talk about quite a bit, just going to go one at a time.